Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11. The Lord detests the use of dishonest scales, but he delights in accurate weights. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. Riches won't help on the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death. The godly are directed by honesty. The wicked fall beneath their load of sin. The godliness of good people rescues them. The ambition of treacherous people traps them. When the wicked die, their hope dies with them, for they rely on their own feeble strength. The godly are rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead. With their words, the godless destroy their friends, but knowledge will rescue the righteous. The whole city celebrates when the godly succeed. They shout for joy when the wicked die. Upright citizens are good for a city and make it prosper, but the talk of the wicked tears it apart. It is foolish to belittle one's neighbor. A sensible person keeps quiet. A gossip goes around telling secrets, but those who are trustworthy can keep a confidence. Without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors. There's danger in putting up security for a stranger's debt. It's safer not to guarantee another person's debt. A gracious woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Your kindness will reward you, but your cruelty will destroy you. Evil people get rich for the moment, but the reward of the godly will last. Godly people find life. Evil people find death. The Lord detests people with crooked hearts, but he delights in those with integrity. Evil people will surely be punished, but the children of the godly will go free. A beautiful woman who lacks discretion is like a gold ring in a pig's snout. The godly can look forward to a reward, while the wicked can expect only judgment. Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. People curse those who hoard their gain, but they bless the one who sells in time of need. If you search for good, you will find favor, but if you search for evil, it will find you. Trust in your money and down you go, but the godly flourish like leaves in spring. Those who bring trouble on their families inherit the wind. The fool will be the servant to the wise. The seeds of good deeds become a tree of life. A wise person wins friends. If the righteous are rewarded here on earth, what will happen to wicked sinners? One thought. Solomon continues to dispense his wisdom on a wide variety of topics in this chapter, and one topic that Solomon brings up repeatedly is how to live well in our communities. Community would have been extremely important in the ancient world. They lacked the technological progress that we have today. They didn't have the same level of wealth that we have today. They didn't have these things where, for good or for ill, people are able to maybe sustain themselves without others more easily. So in the ancient world, your family, your clan, your wider community was extremely important. And yet, whether we're living in the ancient world or living today, we all need real relationship, and we all usually need a purpose, especially to contribute to the larger and wider community that we're a part of. And so, in verses 10 and 11, Solomon demonstrates the impact and the reception of the godly and the wicked in a community. So, first of all, he points out in verse 11, upright citizens are good for a city and make it prosper. That's the impact that the godly can have. They can work for the good of the city, and they help it be prosperous. The godly are not only looking out for themselves, but they often will disadvantage themselves to advantage the community, which leads it to flourishing. And we see the response to the godly that actually comes first in verse 10, but I'm treating it in reverse, where it says the whole city celebrates when the godly succeed. And so even people who are not Christians, right, the whole city, even people who are not Christians, they can recognize when good people are successful. And they want, quote unquote, good people in positions of power and influence, right? Those that are corrupt and selfish, they're not going to do anything good for a community. And we see, in fact, that not only do they not do good, but verse 11 talks about the wicked, and it says, the talk of the wicked tears a city apart. One commentator calls this talk the assaulting slander. It demoralizes and destroys the city. And so the impact that the wicked have is actually a negative impact. It's to produce bad things in the community. And we see back in verse 10, then the reception, it says, the city, or they, shout for joy when the wicked die. Right? When those, especially those that are in positions of power and influence, when they are removed from there, those that are corrupt and selfish, and they are using the community to bolster themselves rather than serving the community, when they are removed from power, there is great joy. So, how do you use your words? Because specifically it says, the talk of the wicked tears the city apart. So as you engage with others in your community, are you building up the community? Are you building up the city? Or are you just pointing out, well, this is wrong and that's wrong, da-da-da-da-da? Right? It's okay to recognize problems and seek to solve them, but it's the seeking to solve them which matters, where many people get in communities and they just like to complain. What's your reputation in the community? Would they see you as a godly, righteous person, as an upright citizen, or as something else? And you might be thinking, Chris, I don't know. I don't really think I have much of a reputation in my community. I kind of just do my thing. I go to work. I come home. I try to love my family, and that's it. Well, I think just one thing to think about is your reputation. It might be wider than you think. For example, you may not impact your whole town or borough, but what about your neighborhood? Are there ways that you serve your neighborhood? Maybe you go around and help, shovel people out when it snows, or maybe you've done work around the neighborhood. Maybe there's a block party that you participate in, or different ways of getting to know your neighbors. So you may have a reputation in your neighborhood, or maybe you need to get involved in your local community. And I know that sounds, like this huge thing, but, just being a regular somewhere, maybe at a local coffee shop or restaurant, or just getting to know people that way by showing up the same time, at the same place, can help you get to know those in your community. Maybe it's volunteering and serving in your community. Maybe there's opportunities to give back, whether it's through a local organization or just through different things that are happening in the town. And then also, just participating in events. Most towns have some kind of social kind of, events and drives that happen in the communities. For example, many communities might have, a Christmas tree lighting or a 4th of July parade or different things like that. So just show up at events. But be a blessing to the community, because we have been blessed so deeply in Christ. We can pay it forward and be a blessing to those around us.